Alright guys, welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. This is Ali Plays. Today we're going to be looking over all of the champions that are the new champions. So we got 12 new champions. So I predicted that we might get a dwarf because I thought we were going to get a king. But the dwarfs are not coming out yet. They're going to come out of patch 1.10 and that's confirmed. We'll go over that in another video of what's coming out in patch 1.10. And yeah, so I thought there would be a dwarf because I thought it was going to be a king, the king of the dwarves. I thought it would be a legendary. But I was wrong. But I was correct that there would be a lot of undead hordes and Knight Revenant character champions that were released. So there are 12 champions. So the first champion is Crypt King Grawl. I think that's how you pronounce it. So he's a legendary magic affinity support, and his faction is undead hordes. So his basic attack is Brittleness Bane. He attacks one enemy, has a 60% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. So this move is good for Arena as well as Clan Boss. A2 is Death Fires. So he attacks 3 times at random, and he has a 50% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 2 turns. So again, this is good for Clan Boss, and it's also good with, like, synergizes with his other move, the one I'll go over next, Elemental Immunity. So this will make him viable in Arena. So we're gonna look at the Ascended part. Once you get him 3 stars Ascended, he attacks all enemies. And he places a freeze debuff on each target for 1 turn if they are under an HP burn. So if you pair him with another HP burn champion, or you can do it after when he attacks 3 times at random, you can freeze them. And then he extends the duration of any HP burn debuff for 3 turns, and this effect cannot be resisted. So that is a very, it looks like a powerful ability on paper, but we're gonna have to see if I ever get him. I can test him out. And then his aura skill is increase ally HP in all battles by 33%. So that is pretty, it's not bad, kind of, it's okay. And then there's also some lore about him, but we're not going to go over that. Next guy is Hegemon. I don't know if this guy's like a Digimon or something. So this guy's a Void Legendary, of course. He's an attack type, and he's part of the Knights Revenant faction. So this character is the best character that has been released in this flow of new champions. So he is single-handedly, I think he's, like, on paper, what I'm reading, what I see here, he's probably the best PvP champion in the game because of that one ability that's called Faithful Arrival. He always goes first each round. If there's multiple Hegemons are in battle, the one with the highest speed will move first, followed by the next highest, and so on. So this move right here makes him very, very strong because you don't have to build any speed on him. You can just go pure attack and some accuracy to land your debuffs, and then he's going to be crazy. So his basic is Graves Grasp. He attacks 2 times at random. Each hit has a 35% chance, placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. So we don't have to worry about that. This is basic. Decreased speed is arena focused, I guess. And Numbing Chill, as when it's ascended, he attacks all enemies and places a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. And also has a 50% chance of placing a block cooldown debuff for 2 turns. So if he lands this ability, like he lands the blocks debuffs, it doesn't matter about the decreased attack. If he lands that, the fight's basically over because they can't use any of their skills. So this is why this guy is possibly the best PvP champion from what we're reading over here. And his aura skills increase ally crit rate in all battles by 19%. So he might be a viable lead for Arena. So we got over the OP guys. The next one's Golden Reaper, Epic Void. She's a support type and Knights Revenant as well. She has a move called Harvest of Blood. She attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of decreasing the cooldown of one of Radom. So there's a typo here. Ally skill by 1 turn. So this move potentially can be good because decreasing the cooldown of a random ally skill by 1 turn can be pretty powerful. So it's a good thing that they made it 30% because if they made it higher, I mean, it's a Void champion, it's hard to get. If they made it higher, they probably have to nerf her. So I don't see any nerf happening with her. And then Maelstrom, sorry. Ascended attacks all enemies and has 50% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. And decreases the turn rate of each target by 20% if they are not under a decreased attack debuff. Not much to say about that. So she has 2 AoEs. She has another one, Lascrity, I don't know how to pronounce that. Lascrity? I don't know. Attacks all enemies and has 35% chance of increasing the cooldown of all enemy skills by 1 turn. So this looks like a PvP based AoE. So she is pretty good PvP champion. Not like top tier, but she's good. Next guy is he's an epic magic affinity. Attack type, Knights Revenant again. He has the first move, Split Arrow, attacks one enemy twice. That's pretty basic. Projectile Burst. He attacks all enemies, and each critical hit boosts his champion's turn meter by 15%. So if you give this guy 100% crit, He's going to be boosting his turn meter like crazy, especially in this Spider's Den. He's going to be going often when he crits. If you make 100%, he's going to be critting 100% of the time. And then Agony Bond, each critical hit heals the champion by 50% of the damage inflicted. So you can see the synergy over here in Spider's Den with this guy, right? And he also increases ally crit in all battles by 19%. So he has the same aura skill as the legendary, the Hegemon guy, the Digimon. Yeah. So next guy is Basilisk. Basilisk? I think it's Basilisk. So he's an epic force type, force affinity, sorry, attack type, Lizardman. So his basic is an AoE, I like that already. That places a 25% increased attack on himself for 2 turns if the attack is critical. So if you get his crit up, he's going to be increasing his own attack, and he AoEs. So you can be a good campaign farmer from what it looks like here. And then Skull Clobber, he attacks one enemy and places a stun debuff for 1 turn. And Withstand, I like this one right here. Once ascended, revives the champion to 30% HP when killed and places a block damage buff for 1 turn. So yeah, I can see the campaign farming potential in this guy right here. Cult Brawler, this guy is really interesting when I was reading it. So he's a epic sport affinity, HP type. He's part of the Ogryn tribes. So Sorcerer's Razor, he attacks one enemy, he has a 50% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. So poison, as you know, is very good for clan boss. And then his next move is Curse Eater. He attacks one enemy. If this champion is under 1 or more debuffs, this attack ignores. This is like very long. If he's under 1 or more debuff, this attack ignores 30% of the enemy defense. If this champion is under 2 or more debuffs, enemies killed by the skill cannot be revived. If he's under 3 or more, the attack is always critical. If he's under 4 or more, this champion heals by 30% of the damage inflicted. If the champion is under 5 or more debuffs, he grants an extra turn. And then he removes all debuffs from this champion after the attack. So he basically cleanses himself, and also his this synergizes with Ruination Ritual. Once ascended, he places a 2.5% poison debuff on himself for 4 turns. At the start of each turn, he has a 70% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff on a random enemy for 4 turns at the start of each round, to each turn. But I can see the potential of this guy in Clan Boss. He's gonna be a crazy poison guy. Even though he only has his basic only attacks 1 time, he can be pretty good. Like you can see, like he grants himself extra turns. He heals himself, ignores 30% of the enemy defense, and then he has one that you cannot be revived, but we don't have to worry about that for Clan Boss. And then yeah, so he cleanses himself and everything. So yeah, he looks like he's potentially he can be a pretty good champion. And he's a Spirit Affinity, so Spirit Affinities are pretty rare, in my opinion. Like to get good ones. Okay, Sakara. Hopefully I can pull Sakara. She's an epic rarity, magic affinity support type, and she's part of the Barbarians faction. She's partners up with Alika. I'm pretty sure they're sisters or just friends. They look like they're like twins or something. If she attacks one enemy and fills the champion's turn meter by 25% if the attack is critical. So if you build her with quick, she's gonna be filling her turn meter pretty quick. And then her next skill is Aura Puncture. She AoEs, attacks all the enemies 3 times. Each hit has a 40% chance of removing 1 random buff from the target. I like that move. So she looks like a pretty arena viable with that. Enfeebling Tips attacks all enemies and has 60% chance of placing a 15% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Weaken is always good. Devoted Sister. So she has the same passive as Alika. She revives herself with 75% HP when killed. Only available when Alika's on the same team. So I can see some synergy between, like, obviously there is synergy between them. But we gotta test them out in arena. If I can pull her, then I can test her out. And then now we have the rare champions. So we have Adjudicator, I'm gonna say that's her name. Rare type, magic affinity, attack type champion with High Elves faction. So her first move is Isolation Cell. She attacks one enemy, has a 20% chance of placing a 50% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. So basically, Cold Hearts basic without the multi hits. And then Slowing Sanction. She attacks one enemy and has a 50% chance of decreasing turn meter by 20%. So yeah, she's pretty debuff heavy, I guess. She needs a lot of accuracy. Penalized, she attacks 2 times at random. It has a 90% chance of increasing the cooldown of one of the target skills by 2 turns at random. And her aura skill increases ally accuracy in all battles by 40. So she looks like a middle of the pack champion. Nothing too good about her. Harvester, rare. So Harvester looks like Spirit Host, her model, but like different colors. She's a Void type attack. Void Affinity attack type and Dark Elves faction. Her first move is Destabilize. She attacks one enemy 2 times and has a 35% chance of placing a 15% weaken debuff for 2 turns. And then a Curse Scythe or Sith. Attacks one enemy, it has an 80% chance of placing a block buff debuff for 2 turns. And Temporal Boost, attacks one enemy, has a 90% chance of increasing cooldowns of one of the target skills by 2 turns at random. So I don't really have an opinion on her. Nothing like really stands out to me. So we go over to Vanguard. He's a rare. Void Affinity, defense type. So we look at that, defense type. Defense type is always good because they double dip into defense. They use it for attack. I don't know if it says that here, but usually they use it for their moves based on attack, damage based on attack. Damage based on defense. And he's a part of the Bannerlords faction. First move, Gathering Momentum. He attacks one enemy and places it 30% decreased defense debuff for 1 turn. The target's defense is lower than this champion, so he's defense based, so that's going to be most of the time. Inescapable Wrath. He attacks one enemy and places Provoke debuff for 1 turn if the target is under a decreased defense debuff. So these guys' moves synergize very well with each other. And Dismay the Foe. Ascended, decreases the duration of all buffs on the attack for 1 hit. Why is it not completed? I feel like they made a mistake here. Let's go to Crimson Slayer. It's like Crimson Helm? Like a dark Crimson Helm? I don't know. So Crimson Slayer's rarity is rare. Spirit Affinity. Attack type, Knight's Revenant. First move is Bring Silence. She attacks 3 times at random. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a sleep debuff for 1 turn. So she has a 3 hit basic. Would be good paired up with Giant Slayer. But sleep is not going to be doing anything against Clan Boss. If you guys haven't noticed, I really like focusing on Clan Boss. So I like looking at potential champions for Clan Boss as opposed to other game modes. Clan Boss and Arena. The Flowing Sword, Ascended, attacks one enemy, has a 70% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 50%. It fills this champion's turn meter equal to the amount of the target loses. I like that move. That move looks pretty good. We don't know how many turns it is right now. Copious Bleed. Attacks all enemies. Has an 80% chance of placing 100% heal reduction debuff for 1 turn. So I can see some potential in Spider's Zen with her, because the Spider can lose turn meter, and she fills her own turn meter, and she has an AoE that does reduction. Heal reduction doesn't matter about the baby spiders, but I'm pretty sure it can land on the queen. And we have an uncommon champion, Thrasher. Spirit Infinity, attack type, Organ Tribes. He attacks one enemy on his basic. Gory Fist. Thrash attacks one enemy. He has a 15% chance of placing a block boss debuff for 2 turns. So this guy looks like food. So he's not one of those hidden gem uncommon champions. Alright, so that's it for the 12 champions. You guys stay tuned. The next couple of days I'm going to have a video about patch 1.10. So I got this information from Plarium. Just to clarify, I'm not speculating or anything. About the Dwarf faction and some new features that are going to be coming out. And yeah, so Hegemon, the Digimon, looks like the best PvP champion that we have so far. And he's Void Legendary. Alright guys, that's it for the video. If you guys like this video, drop a like. If you guys are new to the channel and you like what you see, be sure to subscribe. I do lots of Raid Shadow Legends content almost every single day. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.